Hey, shalom everyone, this is Kris Shoemaker, also known as Yehudah ben Shomeyr, and welcome to the Daily Drash. Today's Daily Drash is taken from Psalm 68, and I'm going to be reading the second half of verse 2 from God's Word translation. David writes, "Let wicked people melt in God's presence, like wax next to fire." Now, David possibly could have come up with this verse through the fact of his day that when potters would sell their wares and sell pottery, um, if it was imperfect and if there was fractures or little cracks, and they're like, well, I want to get my money out of this. I don't want to, waste all my time and effort and money and not be able to sell this. What they would do with imperfect pottery is they would take wax and spread it over the imperfections, the small little fractures and the small little cracks and chips and things like this, and then they would just kind of paint over it, and nobody would be the wiser. So when an earthen vessel that was treated like this was put next to a fire, let's say it was a water jug or something, and somebody was carrying water in it, and they set it next to the fire, then all of a sudden, they would notice that something was wrong with the vessel, that the paint would kind of fade, and that something would just kind of be running down the side of it, and it wasn't water, it wasn't condensation, and all of a sudden a chip or a crack or a fracture appeared. And then they would discover that the person they bought this pottery from was not being totally honest, that they weren't being truthful, and so it was considered stealing money. It was considered cheating because they were selling. They were claiming that something was pure, something was solid and fit and firm, and it wasn't, and it was doctored. So let wicked people melt in God's presence like wax next to fire. So if this vessel had been solid, would have been whole, would have been perfect, would have been pure, it would have stood the test of fire. But because this vessel was not solid and pure and complete and perfect, it didn't stand the test, because all the imperfections were brought out into the open when fire was put next to it, because it melted the wax that covered the flaws and the imperfections. And that's just like wicked people. Wicked people can't stand tests, trials, tribulations. They will melt. They will disappear. They will fall. They will just turn to liquid, just like when people are scared and it says my knees turn to rubber, people have that sensation of weakness, of melting in the sight of fear. And so it's just like a wicked person. When they don't stand the test, when they can't stand up to scrutiny, and when they can't pass the test, they're going to melt just like wax. Their flaws and their imperfections will be put out before everybody to see. But yet a pure person, a righteous person, a holy person, somebody that is complete, somebody that walks with God and does their best to walk in the footsteps of Yeshua, our Messiah, by walking and following in his Torah, these righteous people will stand the test. They can go through the fire and come out unscathed. They can go through the fire and no flaws or imperfections will be found. They will be tested and they will be proven whole, complete, solid, and pure, without any flaws or defects, unlike the wicked person. Let wicked people melt in God's presence like wax next to a fire. God is holy. God is perfect. He cannot stand in the presence or be in the presence of sin or imperfection. It will have to die. It will have to melt away in his presence. So it says, let the wicked people melt in God's presence like wax next to a fire. So in God's presence, the truth will come out and everything will be exposed, and a person will be seen as either righteous or wicked, on the merit of his fortitude and his character and his decision either to follow or disobey God. Anyway, thanks so much for listening. Go out there and have a great day. Shalom and Shavua Tov.
Abraham'sDescendants.com, getting back to the first century in a 21st century way. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to press the like button as well as the subscribe button if you haven't done so already, and the notification bell that'll let you know every time I make a new video. And don't forget to share this with a friend. Also, visit our website at Abraham'sDescendants.com. Thanks. Shalom.
Thanks for watching. Stay connected by subscribing to our other social media accounts and visiting our website at abrahamsdescendants.com.